Success is not some mystery or stroke of luck. It's nothing more than a handful of simple disciplines, practiced every single day. Think about it. How many times have you wished for change in your life? You've dreamed of success, of better habits, of a fresh start. But here's the truth. Dreaming is easy. Following through is the hard part. I know, because I've been there. I've stood in that same place, frustrated, wondering why nothing was shifting, why my dreams always seemed just out of reach. And then I learned something life-changing. Wishing doesn't create transformation. Action does. Real change begins with small, disciplined habits that you commit to daily. I didn't transform my life overnight. It wasn't some magical breakthrough. In just 1 week, I saw my world shift, not because of miracles, but because of simple, consistent actions that built momentum day after day. And here's the best part. These habits are not out of reach. They're available to you, right now. The 5 habits I'm about to share completely reshaped my life in just 7 days. They're not complicated. They're not hidden secrets. They're based on one core principle. Success is predictable. With focused effort and unwavering consistency, you can change your life the same way I did. But let me warn you, simplicity doesn't mean ease. The hardest part is making the commitment and sticking to it. Yet once you do, you'll start to see your life shift in ways you never imagined. So let's begin with the first habit, the power of change. You cannot transform your life until you change something you do every single day. Nothing will change until you decide, truly decide, that you've had enough, that you refuse to live the same way any longer. Change always begins with a choice. The choice to do something different, to step away from the very habits holding you back. We often wait for the perfect moment, when everything aligns, when we have more time, more money, more answers. But the perfect moment doesn't exist. Change doesn't wait. It begins the second you take responsibility and decide to act. Years ago, I was stuck, working hard but getting nowhere. Every day felt like a struggle. Then it hit me. If I kept doing the same things, I would keep getting the same results. Something had to change. So I began with the smallest step. I changed my mornings. I started waking up earlier, not because I had to, but because I wanted to take control of my day before life controlled me. How you start your morning shapes your entire day. Wake up rushed and you'll always feel behind. Wake up with intention and you give your day direction. So I created a ritual. I didn't roll out of bed into chaos. Instead, I sat in silence. I reflected. I asked myself, what do I want from today? I thought about my goals, my dreams, the person I wanted to become. And in those quiet moments, I realized that true change isn't about waiting. It's about making time for what matters. Changing my mornings changed my days, and little by little, it changed my life. Change doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as waking up 30 minutes earlier or making one new choice. The key is to start. One change leads to another, and soon the momentum builds. But change isn't just about habits. It's about deciding to become a better version of yourself. It's about believing you are worth the effort, that your dreams deserve your full commitment. When you decide to change, you give yourself permission to grow. And though results don't come instantly, small, consistent changes compound over time until one day you look back and see just how far you've come. Success is predictable. It begins with one decision, then repeating that decision every day. Don't wait for life to force change upon you. Choose change. And here's where the second habit comes in. Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. You've heard it said, success isn't magic. It's discipline. It's not about waiting for a spark of motivation. It's about showing up day after day, doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation is fleeting. Some days you'll feel unstoppable. Other days you'll barely want to move. That's normal. But discipline doesn't care about feelings. Discipline is what carries you when motivation fades. When I was struggling to make progress, I realized something vital. Without discipline, my dreams would remain dreams. Wanting wasn't enough. I had to work for it, especially when I didn't feel like it. So I built a system, a daily routine that became non-negotiable. After my morning reflection, I tackled my most important task first. It didn't matter if it was tough, or if I was tired, or if I didn't feel ready. Yet discipline meant showing up anyway. That was my first real taste of what discipline feels like. ignoring excuses, ignoring moods, and choosing action. And something powerful happened. Momentum built. Day by day, the small, consistent efforts started compounding. And soon, I was achieving results I once thought impossible. Discipline is not about grinding endlessly, it's about consistency. It's about doing what you promised yourself you'd do. It's about showing up when you're tired, when you're distracted, when everyone else has given up. And here's a truth you must never forget. The cost of discipline is always less than the cost of regret. When I embraced discipline, I started seeing my future differently. Every action, no matter how small, became a brick in the foundation of something bigger. I no longer needed a breakthrough. I needed to trust the process. Because tiny steps, repeated daily, create extraordinary results. Your results are always a reflection of your discipline. If you're not where you want to be, ask yourself, am I truly committed? Am I showing up every day, even when it's uncomfortable? The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Successful people choose discipline over convenience. They choose consistency over shortcuts. They choose hard work over excuses. And here's the best part. Discipline is not a gift. It's a habit. You can build it like any other habit. Start small, but stay consistent. Set your intention. Show up especially on the days you feel like quitting. That's where discipline proves its power. So remember this. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. The real question is, will you choose discipline today? Because your future is being shaped right now by the choices you make in this very moment. You don't get rewarded for the hours you put in. You get rewarded for the value, the effort, and the discipline you bring to those hours. What are you doing to grow today? Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, in this very moment. What steps are you taking to make yourself stronger, wiser, more capable? Because here's the truth I've discovered. Personal growth is the master key that unlocks your potential. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not pushing yourself to improve, the world will leave you behind. The day I turned my focus toward personal development, everything changed. I stopped chasing success on the outside and realized something profound. The external world only gives you what you're strong enough to handle internally. If I wanted bigger results, I had to become a bigger person. I had to expand my mindset, strengthen my skills, and develop the capacity to sustain success. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It's not a matter of luck, it's intentional. It's a daily decision to invest in yourself. Every book you open, every seminar you attend, every conversation with someone who inspires you, those are seeds planted into your future. And let me tell you, the best investment you will ever make is in yourself. The world won't hand you this growth. You must choose it. For me, it started with reading. At first, I was skeptical. What difference can a book make? But I gave it a chance. Slowly, I realized those books weren't just pages filled with information. They were blueprints for transformation. New ideas reshaped my thinking. But here's the key. It wasn't just about consuming knowledge. It was about applying it. Personal development is not passive. It's active. The magic happens when you turn what you've learned into action, when new ideas become new habits, when wisdom becomes part of who you are. And the greatest lesson I discovered? Growth never ends. There is no finish line. You don't arrive and stop. You grow when you win, and you grow when you fail. You grow in seasons of success and in seasons of struggle. If you want to have more, you must become more. And it's worth it, because the more you grow, the more value you bring to the world, and the more the world gives back to you. Growth gives you clarity about what you truly want, the skills to pursue it, and the mindset to persevere when challenges hit. It equips you to build the life you've always envisioned. Here's the secret. Your future is shaped by the books you read, the people you surround yourself with, and the lessons you choose to learn every day. The day I committed to growth, my life took a new direction. I stopped waiting for success to knock on my door. Instead, I became intentional. I sought opportunities. I chased learning. I stretched beyond my comfort zone. And when I did, everything else started to fall into place. If you want to create the life you desire, start with yourself. Learn, grow, expand beyond what you think is possible. Because when you grow, you don't just change your own life, you change the lives of everyone around you. Remember, success is not pursued. It is attracted by the person you become. And that brings me to another habit that shaped my future, taking full responsibility for my life. When I was younger, I fell into the same trap many people do. I blamed my circumstances for my lack of progress. I told myself I'd be successful if I had a better job, more money, or the right connections. I believed my struggles were caused by everything and everyone around me. But here's the truth I refused to see back then. I wasn't taking responsibility. I was giving away my power by blaming others. After years of frustration, something clicked. If I wanted real change, I had to stop pointing fingers and start looking in the mirror. I had to accept that my life was a reflection of my choices, not my excuses. Responsibility meant owning not just my wins, but also my mistakes, failures, and shortcomings. And let me be clear, responsibility is not about guilt. It's about power. The moment you blame others for your situation, you hand them control over your future. But when you accept responsibility, you take that power back. I remember feeling stuck, like life was working against me. But once I decided to stop blaming and start owning everything, good or bad, something shifted. I realized I could choose my response. I could choose to learn, to change, to act differently. Responsibility made me the author of my story. It wasn't easy. Responsibility meant facing my flaws. It meant admitting that procrastination, excuses, and fear had been holding me back. But here's the liberating truth. When you own your choices, you unlock the power to make new ones. One of the first shifts I made was in my mindset. Instead of saying, "This happened because of them," I asked myself, what choices did I make that led me here? What part did I play? And suddenly the answers became clear. My habits had created my results. My comfort zone had trapped me, so I began making different choices. I invested in my growth. I stopped waiting for perfect timing and created opportunities myself. I acted with intention instead of reacting to circumstances, and everything changed. Taking responsibility turned me from a victim into a creator. I stopped seeing obstacles as chains holding me back and started seeing them as challenges designed to make me stronger. Here's the ultimate truth. You can't control everything that happens, but you can always control how you respond. And the moment you take responsibility, you take control of your destiny. With every challenge I faced, I didn't just survive. I grew stronger, wiser, and more capable. Taking responsibility means you stop waiting for the stars to align, for the perfect timing, or for flawless circumstances. The truth is, those moments never come. And that's perfectly fine, because when you embrace responsibility, you unlock the power to make the best of whatever situation you're in. But responsibility doesn't end with yourself. Let's talk about your relationships. It's not only about owning your actions, it's about recognizing the impact you have on others. You've probably heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That means your circle has an enormous influence on the direction of your life. If you're not happy with where you are, you must take responsibility for the relationships you've allowed into your world. Because when you take ownership of your relationships, you also take ownership of the energy you allow to surround you. Suddenly you start choosing people who challenge you to grow, who inspire you to rise, and who hold you accountable. And at the same time, you stop making excuses for those who drag you down. Taking responsibility for your relationships also means owning your role in them. If there's conflict, you reflect on your own behavior first. If things aren't working, you ask, what can I do differently? How can I make this better? Here's the truth. Responsibility is empowerment. When you take full ownership of your life, your choices, your relationships, your actions, you create the conditions for extraordinary things to unfold. You stop being a spectator in your own life and become the author of your destiny. So let me ask you, what are you ready to take responsibility for today? Your future? Your actions? Your success? It's all in your hands. Because when you choose responsibility, you step into your true power. And that's where real success begins. Success isn't about luck, it's about responsibility. It's about consistently practicing the fundamentals that build results. Let me share with you the one habit that transformed my life forever. It wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was consistency. Now I know what you might be thinking, consistency sounds simple, but the truth is, it's not. Starting something is easy, making a promise is easy, But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the discipline to keep showing up, day after day, no matter what. Consistency is the foundation of everything. No matter how gifted you are, no matter how much potential you carry, without consistency, nothing changes. Consistency is what turns effort into results. It's what transforms intentions into remarkable achievements. When I first began, I wasn't the smartest in the room, and I wasn't the most talented, but I had one thing: the commitment to show up, every single day, without fail. That simple commitment, repeated over time, created the path to success. But here's the thing about consistency: it isn't glamorous. There are no fireworks in the beginning, and it's tempting to give up when results don't appear immediately. I've been there. I remember the frustration. I was doing everything right, taking action after action, yet progress felt painfully slow. I questioned myself. Am I wasting my time? Why isn't this working? Then I realized something powerful. The results I longed for weren't meant to arrive instantly. They were the outcome of compounded effort, of small, disciplined actions, repeated again and again until they built unstoppable momentum. I had to trust the process. I had to stay consistent. And that consistency, even when it was hard, even when it was boring, became the bridge between where I was and the life I wanted. I had to trust that the small daily actions I was taking would eventually bear fruit. And you know what? They did. That's the secret of consistency. It compounds. What feels like tiny, insignificant efforts in the beginning, when repeated with discipline, accumulate into something extraordinary. Success works exactly like planting a seed. At first, the soil looks empty. You see nothing. But beneath the surface, something is happening. And when you keep watering, keep nurturing, and keep showing up, over time that seed breaks through the ground and grows into something remarkable. The problem is, most people quit too soon. They try something for a week, maybe a month, or even a year, and when they don't see the results they expected, they give up. But the ones who win, they're the ones who stay. They're the ones who show up every single day, rain or shine, tired or motivated, ready or not, and eventually they harvest the results of their labor. The key is simple: don't quit. One of the most powerful truths I've ever heard is this: success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. It's not the big leaps that change your life. It's the small, consistent steps you take every single day. And here's the beauty. When you stay consistent with those small steps, they will carry you to places you never dreamed possible. I've seen it again and again in the lives of successful people. They aren't always the smartest. They aren't always the fastest. They aren't always the most talented. But they all have this one thing in common: the ability to be consistent. They keep showing up. They keep putting in the work. They keep moving forward. And over time, they accomplish things that look impossible to everyone else. Consistency is not a gift. It's not something you're born with. It's a habit, just like any other. And habits are built through practice. If you make the decision to show up every day, to do the work, to stay disciplined, even on the days when you don't feel like it, the results will come. But let's be honest. It won't always be easy. There'll be days when you're exhausted, days when you're discouraged, days when your mind screams at you to quit. Those are the days that matter the most, because the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, it's persistence. The ones who succeed keep moving forward even when it hurts. They endure the struggles, knowing that success is waiting on the other side. And here's the truth you need to hold on to: you are capable of more than you realize. If you commit to consistency, if you decide that no matter what, you will show up, you will create results beyond anything you can currently imagine. The success you're searching for is hiding inside your consistency. So here's a practical step. Start small, but stay consistent. Don't try to change your entire life overnight. Choose one area, whether it's reading, exercising, writing, building your craft, and show up for it every single day. Don't worry about speed. Don't worry about perfection. Just show up. And over time, those small actions will compound and create the transformation you've been waiting for. Remember this: success isn't about having the best ideas. It's about having the courage and the discipline to stick with the ones you have. It's about action, repeated day after day, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Because success is not magic. It's not luck. It's predictable. It's the natural result of consistent effort applied over time. So commit to this habit. Commit to consistency. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. And you will achieve more than you ever thought possible. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. And greatness is built, not in a single leap, but in the small, steady steps you take every day. If you choose this path, your life will transform in ways you can't even imagine right now. So keep going, keep believing, keep showing up, because your best days are still ahead. The story of your success hasn't even been written yet, and it all begins with one choice, the choice to be consistent. But here's the deeper truth. Consistency doesn't just change your results, it changes you. Every time you show up, you prove something to yourself. That you are reliable, that you are disciplined, that you can be trusted with your own dreams. And that belief, the belief that you can depend on yourself, is the foundation of unshakable confidence. Because confidence doesn't come from pretending to be strong. It doesn't come from motivation that fades after a day. It comes from discipline. It comes from the knowledge that no matter what happens, you will not betray yourself. And the more you prove that to yourself through consistent action, the more unstoppable you become. Think about it. The people you admire, the leaders, the champions, the innovators, they didn't get there because they tried once and quit. They got there because they mastered the art of consistency. They understood that greatness is not built in a single day, but in thousands of invisible days, where no one is watching, where no one is cheering, where the only voice they hear is their own telling them, keep going. This is where most people fail. They crave results without process. They want transformation without discipline. They look for shortcuts, hacks, and overnight success stories. But shortcuts don't build character. Hacks don't give you resilience. Overnight success doesn't make you strong enough to carry the weight of greatness. You see, life is testing you. Every delay, every obstacle, every season where progress feels invisible, it's all a test. Life is asking you, do you really want this? Are you willing to stay when the excitement fades? Are you willing to work when nobody applauds? And your answer is written, not in your words, but in your consistency. Because discipline is louder than motivation, and consistency is stronger than inspiration. And let me tell you something powerful. Once you develop this habit, it bleeds into every area of your life. When you become consistent in one thing, you start to become consistent in everything. Your health improves, your relationships strengthen, your mind becomes sharper, your confidence grows. And suddenly you're not just achieving goals, you're becoming a person of power, someone others look at and say, how do they do it? But the truth is, there's no secret. It's just consistency. Now let me warn you, there will be resistance. There will be days when life will throw everything at you to break your routine. There will be temptations to skip, to rest, to say just this once. But every time you resist, every time you win that small internal battle, you add another brick to the fortress of your discipline. And eventually, you become unshakable. The path of consistency is not easy. It's not glamorous. It's not for everyone. But it is for those who refuse to settle. It is for those who want more than mediocrity. It is for those who look at their life and say, this is not my final form. I am meant for more, and you are. The question is, will you pay the price? Will you endure the process? Will you commit not for a week, not for a month, not for a year, but for as long as it takes? Because when you do, life bends in your favor. Doors open, opportunities appear, and people call it luck, but you'll know it wasn't luck, it was consistency. So here's my challenge for you. Starting today, pick one thing, one habit, one action, one discipline. Commit to it. Do it daily. No excuses. No negotiations, no exceptions. And watch what happens in a month. Watch what happens in 6 months. Watch what happens in a year. Your life will not just improve, it will transform. Because success is not reserved for the lucky. It's not reserved for the talented. It's reserved for the consistent. And if you decide today that you will be one of them, that you will show up no matter what, then nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop you. So stay the course, trust the process. Be consistent, and one day you'll look back and realize that those small daily steps carried you farther than you ever imagined. Your future is waiting, your greatness is calling, and the only question left is, Will you keep showing up? There will come a moment in your journey when the noise around you becomes deafening. Doubts will rise, not just from the world, but from within your own mind. You'll hear that quiet voice whisper, "Why are you doing this? Is it even worth it? Wouldn't it be easier to stop?" And in that very moment, your answer will determine everything. Because greatness is not decided on the days when everything feels good. Greatness is forged in the fire of resistance, in the silence of struggle, in the nights when no one believes in you, but you still choose to believe in yourself. That's the essence of consistency. It's not about perfection. It's not about being unstoppable every single day. It's about refusing to surrender. It's about showing up when you're tired, when you're broken, when you're uncertain, because deep down, you know the life you're building is worth the fight. Think about this. Every hero you've ever admired, every story of triumph that moved you, every empire that was ever built, it all started with one person, making one decision: I will not quit. And so I ask you, what's your decision today? Will you keep repeating the cycle of starting and stopping, of giving up when it's hard, of abandoning your dreams the moment they test you? Or will you finally draw the line in the sand and declare, this time is different. This time I will not give up. This time I will see it through, no matter how long it takes. Because if you do, if you truly commit to this path of consistency, your life will not just change, it will transform in ways that will astonish you. Your body will grow stronger, your mind will grow sharper, your spirit will grow unbreakable. People around you will notice. They will ask, what changed? What's your secret? And you'll smile, because you'll know there was no secret. It was just you, choosing to show up every single day, refusing to quit until your life bent to your will. That's the hidden power of consistency. It makes you unstoppable. So wherever you are right now, whether you're struggling, whether you're winning, whether you're standing at the edge of a decision, make the choice to keep going. Make the choice to rise again and again. Make the choice to stay faithful to your own vision, even when the results aren't visible yet. Because they will come. They always do. The question is never if, it's when. And if you refuse to stop, the when is guaranteed. Your destiny is calling. Your potential is waiting. And the only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the discipline to keep moving forward. So rise, persist, endure, be consistent, and step into the life you were born to live. The future belongs to you. The victory belongs to you. The only thing left is to claim it. And if this message resonated with you, if you feel the fire burning inside, then don't walk away from it. Feed it, protect it, and let it grow. Subscribe now to this channel, because together we're building not just motivation, but transformation. Stay consistent, keep pushing, and remember, the best is yet to come.